Hey guys, it's Bananaowns bringing you episode 7 of my Arkham Origins Let's Play. And as I promised in the last video, I'm going to get into a philosophical, I don't want to say debate with myself about monetizing Let's Play content. But before I get into that, I feel like I should probably say a little bit of things about, a little bit about this game. This is Arkham Origins. I'm really looking forward to play. I love Arkham City and Arkham Asylum a lot. You can see I'm very rusty here in terms of like stealth and taking them out all silently and shit. But I'm gonna get better. This game has been pretty good so far. I haven't recorded anywhere past where I am right now, so I'm currently up to recording. I'm not having a huge backlog of gameplay to do voiceovers for. So this game's good. Doesn't change a whole lot from Arkham City. Not necessarily a bad thing, but don't buy it for $60. Get it for when it's on sale or something. But it's definitely worth it. Almost full price, maybe like $40. But buy it though. It's good, especially if you like the first two Arkham games. This one's pretty much a must-have. It's really cool. Okay, so back to the philosophical debate about monetizing Let's Plays, and it's a very interesting one. So again, this is going to be pretty much a backdrop video, just to talk about current things that are going on in the YouTube community and like the game industries as a whole. So monetizing Let's Play videos is a very, very difficult subject to talk about because there's a bunch of different elements that go together, and it can really cause a lot of confusion and presents a very gray area in terms of what you legally can do and what you can legally make money off of. So stuff like reviews, I think in terms it's a lot easier to justify a review for monetization. You're reviewing a product, and so there's not too much about that. And I mentioned last video, it'd be very difficult. People claiming copyright content review would be like not being able to show like a little snippet of like a movie or something while you're reviewing a movie. It kind of goes against it, and creates a very dangerous thing. But I already talked about that in the last video. So like the actual process of playing through the games and recording a commentary and then making money off it. So it's a very interesting problem. I would have to say first, for the for monetization crowd, I would say there definitely is some sort of requirement of a personality or celebrity. You need to be good, like a good YouTube personality per se. Like you have to be entertaining. So there's definitely a lot of involvement of a personal skill there and a personal touch to these videos. And of course, you got to play through the game. You have to have some sort of skill in order to play through the game. And with the way the video game medium works, how it's interactive. So these interactive sequences can be just to highlight a game. Maybe for some games it can be like completely different story. Imagine someone doing a Let's Play of The Witcher 2, and then there's like a third of the game is different depending on like a choice you make. Someone can choose another choice after watching the first Witcher 2 Let's Play to get something different. And it's a weird issue to talk about, because when it's like, okay, so the person that's recording the commentary track has their voice, that's theirs. The game, the way they're controlling the character is theirs, but in terms of like what you can show, it gets really awkward. Like, so I mentioned in the last video, there's tons of things that can get flagged for copyright in terms of like what copyright owners own. So it could be, maybe the little posters on the walls were done by another company. The sound effects were done by another company. The score was composed by another company. stuff like that can present a huge issue because it's like this culmination, and basically a hodgepodge of a lot of different projects, and sometimes not fully licensed. So you can have games with like music or something that again has licensed music that you can't use, and it presents a really big issue in legitimizing monetization. There we go. Sorry, there was a big phrase there. And it's just like, okay, so how much of this video I'm recording is mine? I mean, I'm playing through the game, I'm recording a commentary, but I didn't create the game. I don't own the code. I don't own the likeness of Batman. I don't own the likeness of the environment. I don't have any legal duty for that. And I'm not exactly reviewing something right now. I'm kind of just talking over it. So it's like, so what justifies me to make money off of this? It can be seen kind of as a, making money off of someone else's work. It's the same thing with like movies, I would say. In a sense, they're different mediums. I know. Before I get angry, hate mail, but in a sense of like a movie, you can't sell your own commentator track with the movie over it. I think like a lot of Riff Tracks movies, what they do is they sell the audio separately, and then they have a mechanism where you can time it up with your home copy, and that's fine. But for the most part, these video games, people don't sell commentary. They sell like the whole video as a whole. It'd be like it'd be hard to justify me putting up my own like commentary on, let's say, so what movies do I have? Let's say I have to yawn. Very sorry. Let's say I had my own director's commentary, my own commentary track for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, that movie that came out a couple years ago. So, and then I just upload that to YouTube, the entire thing, and just me talking over it. It's not necessarily, I don't necessarily possess the right to monetize stuff like that. And it's definitely is a very gray area. It's like, what separates this? It's like, okay, I control my actions in the game, but there's all these other aspects of it that are not owned by someone taking a video. And it can get really difficult in terms of like thinking about it. It's like, am I justified in making money off of just putting like voiceover tracks over stuff and then uploading full video to YouTube? What about people doing Let's Plays of very story-centric games where the story outcome is definitely the main reason to play the game? So let's say if gameplay aside, you watch a Let's Play of Bioshock Infinite, you saw all the story. Do you really possess the want to go and experience that story by yourself if you already know all the outcomes? I mean, it's more difficult to make that sort of argument and talk about games with like some gameplay segments, but let's say like the Walking Dead games. If you watch a Let's Play of that, the way the games are, it's a point-and-click game. So when you watch a Let's Play of that, you're not missing much. Maybe some optional interactions that you can take, but the basic overall story is the same, and it could be really difficult to justify making a monetized Let's Play something like that. It's like, okay, there's not really too much variation that can happen here. No, in The Walking Dead, there is variation that can happen there, but it's a really weird thing because it's such a story-centric. I mean, like, your story can change based on choices you make, so you could argue as well that what someone else watches on my channel won't necessarily be the same as what they do. They might see that I really enjoyed playing the game and go get it. Now, it's really easy to do that whole free advertising thing, and I agree that to some extent, but I also think that that these publishing companies do have a right to look out for their properties. You don't want someone misrepresenting you. You don't want someone that is really misogynistic or maybe is like a neo-Nazi or something representing your brand or doing a voiceover for your game. Maybe someone says something really inappropriate, like really offensive, like Paula Deen offensive, where it just creates this huge shitstorm. And it was on like a Batman video. You can be sure that DC doesn't want anything to do with that, and then Warner Bros. Doesn't want anything to do with that either. So, this whole gray area makes it really difficult to talk, especially since the terms of in terms of like what you can do, it's kind of startling. It is very startling. I really admire a lot of big let's players. I watch a lot of Rooster Teeth stuff, and they come up with their own ideas for game types and stuff like that. But it's really difficult to find like a concrete justification of monetizing video, because it can be like you're playing the game, but you are using someone else's work. I can't make my own commentary for a TV show and then release it with the TV show. Like I make my own copy of the disc or something, record my own stuff like that. Maybe as an incentive, maybe that would be a good idea, but I just don't think it'd be. The monetization thing scares me. Of course, I only have a few very popular videos, Halo story so far, episodes 1 through 5. You should check them out. So I don't have to worry about the monetization thing too much, considering that I just got the option from from those Halo story so far videos. Actually, they put me over the viewer edge, so I could get monetization options, and it's not really worth it. And in a sense, for me, it's just a fun little hobby. And again, like I mentioned last video, it'd be really difficult for a lot of those big YouTube guys. You know, they have a livelihood. They do provide a service. It's just unclear if what they do results in making money. It can be maybe different in terms of like a guide for a game, where you could do video walkthroughs of games where you haven't played through the whole game but serve as a guide. Maybe that could be something that would be something that could be counted on, unless you piss off like Prima guides or something like that. Just it is a really big problem, and in terms of copyright law and YouTube policy and such, it just isn't clear on what you can do. Isn't clear what breaches that very tenuous agreement. It's unclear what constitutes as fair use, or what content ID owners can't exactly claim that there's no. So there's been a few stories of like creators of like some musical artists getting copyrighted on like their own songs on their own channels, like their original songs that they wrote, and it shows a broken system. It shows a broken system, and then with this whole gray area on like what you're allowed to do with Let's Plays, it creates this whole like uneasiness. It creates a whole sense of uncertainty. It creates a sense that, are we doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Is this a viable option? There's just lack of information. I think that's one of the biggest issues, is that you don't know. It's so vague that you don't know what you can do, what you cannot do. And in terms of YouTube stuff, and it's this vagueness that is causing some very alarming developments, and I hope it doesn't I hope it doesn't like really negatively affect it. I hope enough people can raise a stink about this in order for at least people to start talking about it more. Because I want to keep making videos, and that's because I have fun doing it. And anyway, guys, a very philosophical argument there. So I'll see you in the next one.